So you're telling me that a 4-year-old boy lives by himself? Sounds like it's gonna be a mid-show to me. I just finished Kotaro Lives Alone on Netflix, and I have to say, I stand thoroughly corrected. Lead-In Films somehow managed to produce one of the best animes of the last few years over the daily adventures of just a 4-year-old boy. Would you be able to believe it? Everything from Kotaro, the main cast, the setting, the story, and day-to-day adventures, it's just, these guys have done it all, man. Now, don't get me wrong when I hype it up and say all this stuff. I'm not saying they reinvented the wheel or did something completely new with this anime. What I'm saying is that they managed to do the simple things so well and efficiently that it came off across beautifully. For instance, Kotaro's parents don't live with him and he lives just all by himself. Even though the show is painted in quite a bright light, the moments and memories with his parents are quite painful and very dark for this show. He was neglected by his own mum due to her own pain and issues with his father, and his father was abusive, and not only physically, even mentally he left scars on the little boy. That something as simple as pictures and photographs haunts him on a daily basis. This is because when Kotaro was younger, his father saw his photograph published to the public and he went on a full-on meltdown, Joe Jackson style. Even though Kotaro is shown as this stoic little 4-year-old, at the end of the day, he's still just a child, no matter how much he wants to move past it or forget it. This is shown when he bandages himself up, I think it was in the first or second episode, and gets his neighbor Karino, aka his dad, to go check on it and see if he did a good job. Then Karino goes to draw on Kotaro's bandages. On one, he drew Tono-saman, which is one of his favorite television characters, and on the other he drew a botched version of Kotaro. It's in this moment Kotaro lets down his stoic little guard and smiles preciously, treasuring his bandage with the drawing of Tono-saman on it like a true child. Even throughout the duration of the whole show, Karino pretty much tells Kotaro that he's a kid and he shouldn't have to put himself through certain things that adults have to do and do them all by himself. This became more and more true as the show progressed onwards. Karino is also one of the best developed characters right next to Kotaro. Now while the other characters all have developing moments like Mitsuki and Tamaru, Karino's character development is also the best just to watch and be amazed at throughout the duration of the entire show. He started off completely oblivious to Kotaro, his feelings, and how he did things. But the more and more time he spent with him daily, and the more he talked to Mitsuki and got to see things from his perspective as opposed to his adult perspective, he started to understand him more and care for him more in a different way. But it was around halfway into the show that Karino told Kotaro that they should be rivals and grow stronger together. This was amazing because Karino saw things from Kotaro's perspective and gave him an answer based on what he would like to hear but would actually help him without making him feel like a little kid all in the end. My favorite episode easily has to be episode 9. If you haven't watched the show, pause this and go watch it, or skip this part and then come back. Man, this episode is just that special to me. In this episode, Kotaro has a return friend from the orphanage that they used to live at together when he was younger. This return friend is Tasuku. He comes in to be friends and to move in together and sells Kotaro on all these dreams, and that comes crashing down later once Karino and Kobayashi. Together they find out that Tasuku is a scam artist who has been conning Kotaro out of his money and pretending to be his buddy to get that out of him. The shocking thing is that once he's confronted by Kotaro, he's forgiven. Just like that. For a 4-year-old, he's got some maturity on him, and that's an understatement. Mind you, Kotaro, this little 4-year-old, knew about this from the jump before it was brought up to him by Kobayashi and Karino. As Tasuku wonders and asks him why he kept giving him his money, it's revealed that Kotaro will always choose to believe in Tasuku because he's Tasuku. It was revealed in Kotaro's backstory back at the orphanage. When he first came in, he took out one of the pillows and then he started picking the cotton out and making a complete mess everywhere. While he was getting scolded by the other kids, Tasuku was the only one who didn't make him feel like an outcast or rejected, and even went in to join him on the fun and made him feel one with everyone else. Once Tasuku realizes the extent to which Kotaro has been getting all this money for him by even collecting bottles for spare change, it broke him. And it also broke me. This show had a few moments that came close, but this was the defining moment for me. Seeing the absolute purity and kindness beaming from Kotaro had me crying like the little 4-year-old instead. I had a similar situation in my life not too long ago, and to see Kotaro repay the person who betrayed and backstabbed him with nothing but absolute kindness melted my heart into pieces. This is the moment that made me see this show as something special and that should be spread everywhere. Kotaro is adorable as hell and definitely made me want a child after the first 5 minutes of episode 1. So ladies, anyway, if you want a little wholesome soldier of a toddler, hit up my DMs.